Dave Lorenz along with George Zimmerman on the Travel Michigan radio program. I cannot believe it's time for our last segment already, George. Where are we headed?
We're heading to Detroit, and actually so is the Navy, it turns out, and they're coming soon for the big Bicentennial of the War of 1812 events. And we have with us Dr. Jeff Pierce, co-chair of the Bicentennial of the War of 1812 for Detroit. And Jeff, this is going to be a very, very big event coming up in a couple weeks in Detroit. So give us some sense of the scale of this.
Well, it's very exciting. It's going to be the first time ever that you're going to have Navy ships within the Detroit River and outside the Rensen. And we need to realize that this has been going on all year long at many other cities. There's multiple ports that have included New York, Baltimore, Boston, Norfolk, New Orleans, and then they're coming through the Great Lakes right now. So we're one of the 5 cities in the Great Lakes, which includes Buffalo, Cleveland, Toledo, Chicago, and ourselves. So this is a massive event, and it's very exciting. Unfortunately, we can't get a carrier through here because of the St. Lawrence, but we are going to get ships that will be here for the first time carrying the nuclear warheads. First time ever that you're going to see military ships in our port. So it is exciting. It's going to be very exciting because we're also going to be the only city celebrating along with Canada. Canada will be celebrating separately, but Detroit and Windsor is the only one where we'll have a celebration at the same time. So it's the only international one, which makes it even a larger feel.
So talk about the ships that are part of this celebration. What types and what size, and also what era?
Well, what's exciting is we're bringing in the Brig Niagara, which is a replica of the original ships. People may not know that the Navy was actually formed in 1812 to fight against England and Canada. And the Brig Niagara, which is a replica which travels all through the country, where we've pretty much firmed up having it here parked right outside the General Motors headquarters.
That's great.
And as far as the other ships, we have the USS Stewart, which is the largest ship, which has nuclear warheads on it, which they tell me will be active. Hopefully we won't have any issues while we're here. But
with Canada?
Yeah, I know, those Canadians. You got to be careful.
That's right.
Yeah, they are.
Don't talk.
Have a postcard backing us up. So
That's right.
Be pretty good there.
There you go. Well, to get a sense of scale, about how many ships are we to expect, and will they be kind of lined up along the waterfront there?
Yeah, exactly. It'll be from where Cobo is, the Port Authority, the Rensen, running right up and down there. We're trying to get most of the ships as focused between the General Motors headquarters, the Port Authority, and Cobo. So you can see most of the ships there. One of the ships, just because of convenience, may be parked a little bit further towards the bridge.
Okay. Yeah. And these will be, are they open to the public? How's that going to work? Or just viewing from the dock? Or
No, absolutely. There'll be tours on all ships, mostly from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and everybody's allowed to get on free. Again, you mentioned the website, 1812detroit.com. You can go there for schedules and to sign up for tickets. Again, it's all going to be free to the public during those hours.
Well, I really get into, literally get into ships and think they're really interesting. But it looks like you have the tall ship, the Niagara. I see you have some ships from Canada, from the U.S. Navy, from the U.S. Coast Guard. Many of these will be available for public tours. And do they actually get like a walking tour, or is this an opportunity to kind of walk through on your own and see these ships?
Well, on the brig, it's a set-up tour. On the other ships, it's all going to be very well organized and orchestrated by the Navy. So it's not going to be just free-floating. It's going to be, sections and roped-off areas, obviously, to be able to see these things.
So in addition to the ship tours and, of course, just the fact that they're all here, first time ever that I'm aware of, there'll be some performances, I understand?
Performances from the band?
Yes.
The Navy band, yes. I mean, the Navy band, the Navy's been wonderful to work with. They're just open. This is the first time they're ever really doing this. You're probably aware of Navy Week. But what this is it was really a celebration of 1812. We're bringing in ships and really integrating in with the Navy itself. So the Navy's bringing everything out from their sources that they can, which includes the bands, which if anybody's heard them, it's a phenomenal band.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 70-piece band, I hear, and they're able to break down into quartets and orchestra. So we should be able to hear some great music. And with General Motors have just stepped up and has really done a great job promoting it, we'll have concerts going on every day outside the Winter Garden at GM headquarters there right on the waterfront. So we feel if anybody's seen a performance there, it's a great setting right there on the river with Canada in the background and obviously our large tall buildings of Detroit. It's a great backdrop for any venue. And fortunately, General Motors will have it every day, twice a day, pretty much from noon until 6, I think it is. And again, the schedule is going to change, but mostly it's going to be performing throughout the day with the Navy Band.
Well, I also see that the United States Coast Guard's drill team, the Honor Drill Team, which usually is in D.C., of course, will be doing the precision rifle display, and that's really something else to see that drill team perform. Oh,
absolutely. I mean, just being a civilian, which I've come accustomed to being called right now, understanding what they do to the details, what each one of these military individuals can do and performs is always amazing. What they're doing and be able to see it up close and in person, like you said, most of the stuff is done in Washington or on the East Coast. Having it here for the first time for our Detroiters to be able to appreciate and, all of Michigan, I think it's going to be a wonderful, unique opportunity for all.
Well, and certainly given the fact that this is along the riverfront there and all the improvements that have been done there in recent years and the new dock that just opened, the new port dock, what a great way to showcase what's going on with the riverfront for Detroit too.
Oh yeah, I mean the riverfront is totally changed. Totally hats off to Detroit for rebuilding that area and the leaders, Detroit business leaders of Detroit stepping up, and it's really changing. I think you're right. A lot of people should be coming down. Hopefully not for the first time, but most of them probably will be to come see this and to really appreciate how fun, how beautiful it is, and be able to come down there more often. And we'll be happy be the ones to drag them down there to see it, but I think everybody's going to walk away being very appreciative and understand that it is transforming at this time.
Will there be any opportunities for the public to learn more about the War of 1812? It's often been called the so-called Forgotten War, but it was a really important war for, making America for what it is today. And I think a lot of people simply don't know a lot about it.
Exactly, and that's, I was one of those individuals. I'm a few years from my high school days, college days, but we're looking to educate what the War of 1812 is. We'll have ongoing stuff down at the Rensen where there'll be displays to explain more. We'll have evening events that will explain more. Our website, if you go to 1812detroit.com, you'll be able to see and learn more about it. So you pretty much can learn everything about it. It's just how much you want to learn. So between the websites, between the visits, all that, there's definitely a lot of information about the War of 1812.
And there's certainly some big ties to Michigan and to the Great Lakes region with the War of 1812, and I'm sure that's going to be part of that educational opportunity.
Right. When you talk to the Navy officials now, when you ask who truly won the war, we're not going to bring that up, but we try to count.
Let's not get into that.
Yeah.
Well, they say just count how many ships are at the bottom of Lake Erie. So people need to realize that this majority of the war was fought right here in the Great Lakes, which has a lot of historical value. And some of the events we'll actually do a reenactment of the War of 1812 and have very unique uniforms that are authentic from that time frame. And with the Brig Niagara, you'll truly get that feel.
Sounds like a great opportunity. Thank you so much. Coming up September 4th through the 10th, the Detroit Bicentennial of the War of 1812, right on the river. Thank you, Dr. Jeff Pierce, co-chairman of the Bicentennial of the War of 1812 Committee. Boy, that's all the time we have for Travel Michigan this week. I want to thank Mark Blackwell, engineering for today. And we'll talk to you next week right here on Travel Michigan, where your trip begins at michigan.org.